Hey friends, so before we dive in today, I want to share something with you that I am so excited about. Illuminate You, the collective is back. It's 2 days in person in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina for the mompreneur, the female entrepreneur who wants to get clear, get confident, and get connected so that you can win at work without losing at home. So here's what those 2 days are going to look like. I want you to imagine walking in Thursday evening to a privately curated connection dinner at a beautiful upscale restaurant where we will have our own private space. You'll be greeted with a fun mocktail, signature mocktail, and a welcome gift. But most importantly, this night is about you being surrounded by women who get it. Women who are building businesses and building lives as moms, as wives, and the person that everyone else looks to. And by the end of this evening, all the walls have already come down and you are ready for Friday. So Friday, we're going to spend a full day understanding your personality blueprint, which is how you're naturally wired in your decision making, what your superpower is. What are the things that naturally drain your energy and naturally give you energy? What does your communication and leadership style look like at its best? From there, we're going to create plans personalized for you around all of that so you can go home and implement on Monday morning and know exactly what to focus on. So this is happening on August 27th and 28th. I'm limiting it to 20 women to keep it intimate. And the first 10 who register get 2 private one-on-one sessions with me as a bonus. So one before the event and one after. And a few of those are already gone. So I want you to go to the link in the show notes, or you can go to martinewilliams.com/the collective 2026. Save your spot. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I am your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Hey, and welcome back to the show. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to talk about something today that I haven't talked a ton about here on the episode, specifically in this way, but it's one of the most underrated success strategies available to you as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a female entrepreneur, and it's getting support. Not as a one-time thing, not as crisis, as a crisis response, like waiting until it gets so bad that now you're in crisis mode. But I want you to think about it as an ongoing, intentional, non-negotiable part of how you build your business and how you build your life. Because I really want to normalize something today that I think our culture has made to feel selfish or unnecessary or like something you only do when things get really, really bad. And I think back to marriage conferences and things that Shaw and I have been to, we go to them to stay ahead of a crisis, right? We go to them to stay healthy, just like going to the gym is preventative. It's doing the work ahead of time. And for some reason, the coaching industry is just not seen that way, or having a coach or a personal trainer or, a housekeeper, any kind of support, it's not seen as the same. So getting coached, getting supported, staying in a room with someone who challenges you and believes in you and helps you to see what you cannot always see yourself. Like, it feels luxurious, but I don't always believe that it's a luxury. It's a strategy. And I want to tell you why. So let's dive right in. I want to start by just sharing my personal story because I think it matters here. Maybe you don't know this about me, but when I was in direct sales, I had the same coach for 15 years. Not because I had been in crisis for 15 years, not because I couldn't figure some things out on my own, but because I had experienced firsthand what having consistent support does for your growth over time. And honestly, I'll never go back to trying to do entrepreneurship and life without it. And right now, I am in my 4th round of a mastermind, which is a group program. And then I also have a one-on-one coach. And this gives me the opportunity to still have someone who sees my business and my life from the outside, helps me to stay honest and accountable and clear in a way that is simply not possible when you're inside your own head and inside your own life looking out. And I'm not sharing this to brag. I'm sharing this because I think a lot of mompreneurs and female entrepreneurs would never guess that someone who teaches and coaches for a living also has a coach herself. Like maybe you think I'm above that, or maybe I'm past that, or I've got it all figured out. And so I think it matters that you hear it from me that I still invest in coaching. And honestly, if you are looking for a coach and they're not being coached, that's a red flag for me. I always want to surround myself with and be supported by women and coaches who are also being coached because the fact is none of us have it all figured out. And we always have another level of growth. And I want to be on the coattails of someone who is on her way to her next level because I know she's going to bring me with her. I tell my clients all the time, like, I'm up leveling and I'm bringing whoever wants to come with me. Grab on, let's go. The very best in every field have coaches. This is not just business, but the very best in every field has a coach, always. So I want to talk about Olympians for a second because I think this analogy is going to land for a lot of you. Think about what we expect of Olympic athletes: the dedication, the consistency, the performance, that ability to show up at their absolute best when it matters most, the mental toughness to keep going when things are hard. We hold them to an extraordinary standard, right? And we accept that standard as reasonable because they're Olympians. That is what Olympians do. Now, think about what you do every single day as a mompreneur. You run a business, you raise children, you manage a household, you show up for your team or your clients or your customers, you try to be present for your family, you try to take care of yourself, and you try to grow personally and professionally at the same time. You're performing at an Olympic level every single day in multiple arenas simultaneously. And here's the thing about Olympians that I want you to really think about: none of them do it alone, not one. Every single Olympic athlete has a coach, and most of them have multiple coaches: a strength coach, a skills coach, a mental performance coach, a nutritionist, a recovery specialist. They have an entire team of people whose sole job is to help them perform at their best. And we, who are doing something at least as demanding, in many ways more complex, we expect ourselves to do it completely alone and then feel like failures when it's hard. Like, just think about that for a second. That is not a standard. That is an impossible expectation of yourself. And it's completely out of alignment with what we know about how high performance actually works. So, if getting support is so clearly a good idea, why do so many of us, you mompreneurs, resist it? I've heard every reason under the sun over the years, and I want to address the most common ones because honestly, I think it's important to talk about it. And I'm saying all of this with so much love. And if this is your first time tuning into my podcast, maybe you don't know me well enough to know, like, I'm real and I'm honest, and I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, even if you don't want to hear it. But this is how I coach, and this is how I want to be coached. But the first one is money. I can't afford it right now. And I hear that. I genuinely do. And I have genuinely said those exact same words because investing in yourself when your business is tight or your family budget is stretched feels irresponsible. It does. But here's what I want to offer. What is it costing you not to have the support right now? Not just financially, but in time and energy, in the decisions that you are making from exhaustion instead of clarity, in the indecision, which is causing all kinds of mental fatigue because you're just not making decisions, in the opportunities maybe you're missing because you're too depleted to even see them. There's so much fog because you're just so depleted. Most women I have worked with can point to decisions they've made when they were depleted that cost them far more than coaching ever would have. I've seen marriages dissolve. I've seen health sacrificed. I've seen a lot in my 2 decades as an entrepreneur. And I just want to talk about this in the most honest and real way because both things can be true. Things can be tight financially, and how would you want to move forward with coaching anyway? Because you're paying something right now. It's costing you something right now, not having the support. So the second one is time. I don't have time for one more thing. And busy, you've heard me say it before. I was just thinking about this as I am having conversations with women right now who want to be at Illuminate You, the collective. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog collar chiming in the background. We're having these conversations, and the word that keeps coming up is busy, right? Busy. And the fact is, that's not changing. If you're a mom and an entrepreneur, yeah, you're gonna have a lot going on. You're gonna have a lot competing for your time, but that doesn't mean that being in a room with women who understand your unique struggles and challenges and getting the opportunity to connect with them and to get clear on what your priorities are and to get clear on how God created you to be so you can go do what He's created you to do in the most powerful way, that doesn't mean that you don't create the time for that. You won't find time for these kinds of things. You have to create the time for them. And again, I hear that. I have said busy many times, and a lot of times I wore busy as a badge of honor. But support is not one more thing. Like if you're feeling like I can't fit one more thing on my plate, this is the perfect time for you to have a coach and to get support so that she can help you create the time and streamline your life and reprioritize some things and take some things off your plate. Like coming to a, and it's so interesting. Like I'll have clients sometimes that, life is busy, air quotes. I don't love that word busy. We need to break up with busy. Busy is a disease, but it's what they say. And the first thing that they try to do is cancel their coaching call. It's mind blowing to me. And sometimes it's not because of time, it's because they're feeling like there's just something going on and they're just not feeling right. And I always push back on it, not to be hard, but because that's what you're paying me for, is to tell you some things and to give you a different perspective. And I am the queen of possibility. And so I always try to talk to them about like, this is a 45-minute time that's just for you to take something off your plate. This is for you to come for 45 minutes and be listened to. You're probably having to listen to everyone else all day long. This is your 45-minute block of time once a week to be heard, to be seen, to be supported, to have a vent session if you need to just be honest and real and get it all out. This is not the thing that you stop doing when you feel busy. So went on a little rant there, but I just wanted to say like it comes up even with current clients. And I say it with so much love for them. It's like, here, like 45 minutes. Can you just get on the call and let's just start talking and see how you feel? And then if you want to exit the conversation, we can exit. And not a single one of them have said, I wish I would have canceled or I wish I wouldn't have done that. Every single one was like, thank you for pushing me and like encouraging me and challenging me to keep this call. It's just a perspective change. It's a perspective shift. Like if you feel like your plate is so full that you can't get the support that you need, that is why you need the support. And if you can't carve out 45 minutes for yourself once a week, that's a problem that needs to be solved. Just going to say that. So support, again, done well, creates the time. It creates the clarity. It helps you to stop spending. It helps you to make better decisions faster. It helps you to stop doing things that are not working and start doing things that are. Like stop wasting time on things that are just sucking the life out of you and draining your energy and reprioritizing and giving yourself that harmony of things that you still have to do. Like I don't love doing laundry, but we still have to do it, right? And then what are the things that actually bring you joy and things that are fulfilling for you? Making sure we have a harmony between those things. Hey friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure, it's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up, and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Working with Martine helped my confidence in starting and growing a new business. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish it. Martine helped me work through my ideas based on the results of my ProScan, and having weekly calls really helped me stay focused and working toward my goal. I highly recommend working with Martine for those who want to grow their business or who are just getting started. Having that focused time to work and work together is priceless.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martine@martinewilliams.com with free times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show. The third reason why we resist getting support is belief that needing the support means something is wrong with you. This one breaks my heart a little because it's so common and it's so untrue. Needing support does not mean you're weak, friend. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. And I think sometimes we forget that we're a human and we have feelings and we have challenges. And it just means that you're serious enough about your growth to invest in it. That's what it means. And as I was sharing this with a client who was renewing her coaching with me, and like this has come up a couple of times, but she was just like, it feels weird. It feels like I should be able to cut the cord and not have you or have to need you. And this is when I explained to her, like, I had the same coach for over 15 years. Like, it's not a need. I mean, it is kind of, but it's a success strategy. It's what allows me to keep showing up in my business because there are days I just don't feel like it. There are days where I'm discouraged, and there are days when my beliefs are in the pit. And I need someone who can see me, who can hear me, and who can support me. So even if you've been in a coaching relationship with someone, and maybe you've never been in a coaching relationship, but it can be an ongoing support for you, depending on the coach. But it's not a one and done experience. Like, it's luxurious again to have someone in your corner at all times, to be able to have your weekly or biweekly coaching, to have that support. So the strongest, most successful women that I know are also the ones who have the most consistent support. That is not a coincidence, y'all. Just like the strongest Olympians, the Olympians, you see them, they have coaches, consistent support. That's not a coincidence. National, I love college football, like the national championship team, they have coaches, multiple coaches that are helping each one of the individual players perform at their highest level and collectively as a team. So it's just really interesting. And maybe you don't relate to the Olympian, but I bet you can relate to this as a mom. You've invested probably in your daughter or your son having a coach for their baseball or their football or their tennis or their dance or their cheerleading. And you don't bat an eye at that. But when it comes to investing in yourself, it's like all of a sudden it becomes this selfish thing, and I don't have time and I don't have money, I have the money to do it. So I want to reiterate here that you are the asset to all of those other things. You deserve to have that kind of support too. And what you're role modeling for your kids is that they don't have to do it alone. They don't just have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and deal with it. They don't have to walk this life alone. It's having the support, having the mentorship, having the coaching, having that community to be with you in the valley moments and in the peak moments. So let me tell you what having the right support in your corner actually does for you. Number one, it gives you space to think out loud without filtering yourself. Most of us spend so much time and energy managing how we appear to other people around us that we never actually get to just think out loud, honestly, without worrying about what someone else will think. This has come up a couple of times in my coaching sessions this week. Like, they're like, it just feels so good to be able to come here and just be me. And I don't have to put on a front or a mask or anything. I can just tell you exactly how I feel. And I trust that you're not going to judge me. So the right support gives you that space. And it's more valuable than most people realize until they've experienced it. To be witnessed by someone in your celebration, in your win, and then to also have space held for you when you're in a hard spot. If you haven't experienced it, it's really hard to describe, but I'm trying to do my best. It gives you someone who believes in you when you have stopped believing in yourself. There have been so many times in the last 3, 4 years that I thought I can't keep doing this. And every single time I knew that I had support that I could reach out to. Now I had to take the initiative to do that. But every time I was met with grace and some tough love and some prayer and some encouragement and a new perspective or something. But having someone who believes in you when you stop believing in yourself really, really helps to stay in the game. And there will be seasons in your business, in your life, when that happens, when you just cannot see what is possible, when you're too close to the hard thing to see on the other side of it. And having someone who holds your vision for you during that season is so powerful. It is so invaluable. I mean, it's just priceless. I mean, the amount of times that I had to go to my group, when I was being the caregiver for my mother-in-law and then my sister-in-law passing away and then my dog passed, like it was just a lot. And we just had our celebration call to wrap up the last round. And of course, I'm coming to the call to celebrate just being seen and just the capacity to be kind to myself in that season and not push through and not push down all the emotions, but just allowing myself to take that time to grieve because I've not experienced a lot of loss in my life. But it was because of that room and because of that coach who held space for me to just ugly cry if I needed you know, to give me some really great sound advice on how to navigate business during a hard season, during grief, like what that actually looks like. I'd never done that before, so I didn't know what it looks like. And you just can't put a price on that. It's also having someone who holds your vision for you and gives you like that outside perspective on your own patterns. Y'all, we have our own patterns and we can't see them. There are blind spots. And that's why they're called blind spots because you can't see them. And the right support helps you see what you cannot see from the inside of your own life. And that visibility can change so much for you and changes so much for me. And it also gives you accountability, not the kind where someone checks up on you and makes you feel guilty, the kind where you have made a commitment to someone else and that commitment helps you follow through even when the motivation is faded. So the one mastermind that I'm in right now, they have peer coaching, and one of my peers and I have been meeting once a week together as well. And so we had our meeting this week, and she was like, "This, just knowing that I was going to have to come on this call with you and report back what I needed to get done, and if I got it done, like really helped her to stay on track." And so there is an accountability piece as well to being inside a room or having a coach. So I want to connect all of this to something specific because I think it matters. One of the things that I hear most often from women who come to the collective or into my coaching is that they've never had a space like this before. A room where they could be honest, where they could get real coaching, where they were surrounded by women who understood their specific experience. And what they discovered is that 2 days of that kind of support shifts something that months of trying to figure it out alone could not. Not because the collective is magic, but because support works. Being in a room with the right people and the right facilitation and the right tools accelerates your growth in a way that going it alone simply cannot match. The August Collective is not a one and done experience either. We have a follow-up after the collective built in so that you can, when life starts happening, as you start to implement, well, you'll get back together with the same group and be able to kind of talk through what your challenges were, what your wins were. And so you kind of leave with an ongoing community of women who were in that room with you, and you leave with the tools you will use for the rest of your life. It is the beginning of a support system, not just a single event. So if you have never been in a coaching program before, or you've never had a one-on-one coach, this is a great opportunity for you to just kind of dip your toes in there and just be in a room with a coach, a certified coach, and other entrepreneurs, and just experience it and let yourself experience it. You're worth it. You deserve to have this space created for you. So whether you're local or you're out of town, it's worth the drive. It's worth the flight to be here, to be in this room, to have this experience. And it's a great place for you to just kind of dip your toes in the coaching world and just see what you think. So I want to leave you with this. You're doing something incredibly hard. You're building a business while being present mom, while trying to take care of yourself, while showing up for everyone else who needs you. It's not for everyone. I mean, and it trying to do it alone as a solopreneur makes it even harder. So I just want to encourage you that you deserve support, not because you're weak or because you think you're failing, but because you're doing something that demands it. Olympians don't apologize for having coaches. They understand that a coach is a part of what makes them excellent. Part of what makes me excellent in what I do today is because I continue to invest in myself. I continue to invest in coaching, and I've spent thousands of dollars in coaching in my 2 decades. You're performing at an Olympian level every single day, no doubt, because you're ambitious and you have the drive and you have the goals and you have the ambition for your life and the ambition for your work. Give yourself permission to have the support that performance deserves. So the August Collective is one way to do that. It's 2 days, again, in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, on August 27th and 28th. I'm limiting it to 20 women. So I can have eye contact with you. You can have eye contact with the woman next to you and other women in the room. Real coaching, real connection, and a real plan when you leave. And the first 10 women who register will receive 2 private 30-minute sessions with me, one before and one after. So the link is in the show notes, and you can also just go to martinewilliams.com/the collective 2026. You deserve a room like this, and I hope to see you in there. So take good care of yourself, and I will catch you on our next episode. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.